This is the S450PB oven, Class 1 equipment ID 3620. Holds 2 cassettes of 6-inch wafers. Temperature range is 25 to 450 degrees C. Has a rampable temperature controller, which is actually touchscreen PLC control. Allen Bradley PC. Data logging is via the USB port here. Just have to have a USB stick in while you're running the process. At the end of the process, take it out and download it to your desktop computer. And you can pull the graphs for the entire run. It's in Excel format. Granville Phillips 275 Convectron gauge. Start reset switches. Complete abort light. Programmable thumb wheel. If there's no data logging stick in, you get the 2066 logging error. That's normal. You can run it that way. You just won't be able to download your data when you're done. Okay. There's also an audible alarm for aborts and process complete. Emergency stop. In the back you have N2. It's kind of hard to see. You have 2 N2s. You have cold N2, and on the left way over here you have hot N2. Adjustable. Thermocouple input here to the back of the controller. COM1 and COM2 port for remote hookup. So now we'll go through the touchscreen. I have process 5 selected. It shows the process that is selected here. We're in step 0. Set point 70, that is the idle set point. So this shows set point and actual temp. Now, you can set for idle setup, which is where we're at now, you can set your idle temperature set point. Back to overview. So this is your overview screen. Tells you if the door is opened or closed. The percent power on the heaters. Hot N2 valve is open or closed. Cold N2 valve is open or closed. You have a main vac and a process vac. Tells if those are open or closed. So we can go process setup. Right now again it's going to show me process 5 because that's who I have selected. So process setup. Pump time. This is the pump time for the dehydration steps. So I gave it 1 minute and two dehydration steps. So it'll pump and purge twice. Number of ramp dwells. This is the number of steps in your process. I have a 6-step process. On this process I have step 1 is 125. I did not give it a ramp. And I told it for 23 minutes. So it will do its own ramp. It will ramp up to 125 at the rate set by the PID control. Step 2 is 165. You can give it a ramp and a dwell, but on this process I've just given it dwell. So it will ramp up to 125 and then sit there for the rest of the 23 minutes. The same with the 165. Steps 3 to 8 are more steps. So I have 5 steps set up, 6 steps, I'm sorry, set up in this recipe. At the 6th step, we'll put it back to 70 degrees, which is the idle temp. I tell it to go there for 60 minutes. After that, it will go back to idle state and give you process complete. So you can go up to 14 steps. Of course, if you hit save recipe, if you do editing, you must save recipe. Now we'll go back to overview, process setup again. So that was for your temperature set points, your ramp, and your dwell. You also have an N2 setup. On here you can flow cold N2 or hot N2 during the process steps. So for each step, you can have either one of those open to kind of adjust your ramp. Now when I come down to the ramp down, I've opened my cold N2s to help it cool down a little quicker. And again, you can do that through all the steps. Back to overview, process setup, alarms. This is where you set your warnings and alarms for each step during the recipe. And again, save recipe. Alright, so we'll go back to overview. I've shown you process setup, idle setup. Trend will show you as it's running, you can watch the trend chart. Set point and actual temperatures. Now admin, the password is 12345, or the login, and the password is 12345. Enter. Now I can change password. I can go into utility screen, which you should never have to go into. And this is because it's the master. Now you can set your time, your date, your language, whichever you wish. So we'll go back. So you should stay out of the utilities. That's all preset. You have overview, log out. Now here you have, I can use PID or IMC control. IMC control is in engineering process right now. We are not using IMC control. It's for future engineering testing. So we use the PID. So PID setup. You can set 3 different ranges for your PIDs. I have it set from 0 to 200, and I actually have the same PIDs set up, but you can set different PID control for different temperature ranges. So your P, your I, and your D. That controls your ramp rate, your timing of your ramp, your overshoot. So that's where you would set for the type of ramp and dwell that you're looking for. Previous. Guaranteed ramp. You can enable. If it's enabled, it will do the math. If you say you want it to go to 200 degrees in 60 minutes, then it knows where it should be in 30 minutes. So now I tell it set point of deadband. I gave it 5%, so it will hold it within 5% of where it believes it needs to be, or it will alarm. I can disable the guaranteed ramp, and it will just ramp at whatever rate your PIDs are set for. I like to run it with that enabled, 5% deadband, and through testing of the temperature ranges we wanted for the specific recipe, I've set the PID controls to these numbers. And that's about it for the controller and the functions.